start with questions in English, and then we'll follow up with questions in Spanish.
Start with a statement if you don't mind.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I think just to set the tone, listen, we're working really hard every week. These guys are showing up and training well, but we're still a young club, and things aren't where we want them to be, obviously. My message to the La Frontera, for example, is like, what a fantastic performance from them in the stands. So loud, so committed. We hear them, we understand. The second half is not good enough. All of us put our hands up for that, and we're just going to get back to work and make sure that we turn it around.
We'll start in English first.
Yeah, Mike, Alejandro with San Diego Football. What are some of the things that maybe the club is looking to work on moving forward, looking back at the results of the last 3 games?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're a good team that's losing games right now. It's first team level. When you don't play a complete game, you're going to lose games. The first half was really good. Their goal comes completely against the run of play, but there's just so many good things. The second half is totally different. We get shooken when we go down 1-2, which in my opinion is just such a tough call that they make. It's 3 penalty kicks in 3 weeks, and statistically that's just a hard thing to eat. And these are calls that make a big difference. Last week we get a penalty kick and a red card. This week against the run of play, we get a penalty kick, and these things are tough. So we have a little bit of we're in a bad moment also in terms of just like luck and momentum. So what we need to do is we need to show up to training every day like we have, but actually get better in the training, because the way that we were training in preseason was good for preseason, but it's not good for now. So we need to make those steps every day on the grass, in the classroom. We all just have to be dedicated to do it. I know that this is a good team, and this team is going to start winning games. But we have to find a way a little bit to change that luck, and we need to put a complete game. Because if we play the first and the second half the way that we played the first half, I come in here and I tell you guys, hey, and with the penalty kick, right? If we lose the game 1-2, and we just can't score the tying goal, but we play like we did the first half, the whole 90 minutes, I say, hey, this was a good game from the guys. Shit luck.
This is the first time you guys are playing against a team you've already played before. Were there added challenges with that, and did you feel like you guys made enough adjustments to face Salt Lake again?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was. It's our first time playing against somebody that we now know. You know what I mean? The other clubs, they have this experience even maybe on the first game week, because they played teams last year. So that there was definitely something to that, but I think the adjustment the team made was they came out with a lot more intensity. The press in the first half was very good. Last game we played against Salt Lake, it was very difficult for us to get the ball off of them. We fell back into that in the second half, but the first half was fantastic. Okay, and then we did a lot of good things with the ball. We're 63% possession tying the game, and our possession actually went down after we conceded the 1-2. So it clearly shook us, and we have to be more stable than that. We will get there, but we're going to get there by just working our butts off every single day on the field, in the classroom, and in the gym.
Any other English questions?
Why do you think the drop-off was to the extent it was after such a good run by your team tonight?
Yeah, you're saying the drop-off from first half to second half?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I think the feeling of the penalty kick coming against the run of play, I think it was a mental hurdle that we weren't able to jump. I think that's a possibility. And then I don't know if there was fatigue. I don't know. It's a really good question that we'll want to analyze and we'll want to reflect as a group. And I'm sure the guys are thinking about it also, because when the game is don't want to say easy, but it's so clear in the first half and then becomes so muddled in the second half. It is something that you have to look deeper into.
Like, obviously the second half not up to standard, but do you take any sort of silver linings that the chances were still there, just the final touches just didn't go through?
I repeat, we're a good team that's losing games right now. We believe 110% in the guys that we have in our locker room. They're good guys. They're great teammates. And they've been working together for 15 weeks to show a cohesiveness in a very complex and difficult game. And they show moments where you think, wow, this is a top team. And then there's moments where we're not the best. And at this level, you get punished for that. I have no doubt in this group that with training, they're going to show up flying for Monday and Tuesday training. And we're going to make the steps necessary. When that happens, I don't know. Because we got to get over that hump, right? We're in our first kind of dip. But once that happens, we're going to be a team that wins more often than doesn't.
We'll go to Spanish.
Durante la semana vemos semana tras semana en los primeros minutos que nos permiten en el entrenamiento cómo ha hecho parte de esas modificaciones que intenta hacer con la plantilla. ¿Qué cree que realmente está pasando que no está saliendo, por ejemplo, en estos 3 últimos juegos? ¿Pasa desde lo individual o lo colectivo? Le pregunto lo individual por la pena máxima que tuvieron que checar también en el VAR, la mano de Berskov. Y la segunda pregunta rápido, si lo de Willy Kumado fue también un poco demorado en su cambio.
Bueno, primero y principal, yo creo que el penal para mí es muy difícil comer, porque yo no entiendo la regla de mano y penal, porque el árbitro no lo cobra y después va al VAR y lo cambia. Y Yepe tiene el mano acá, no tiene el mano acá, no tiene el mano acá. Entonces, eso para mí, como yo digo, tenemos un poquito mala racha de suerte en este momento. Willy para mí hizo un muy buen partido, hizo un error grave y el error nos costó. Esto también es un poquito un ejemplo de dónde estamos en este momento. Tenemos un poquito de mala suerte, porque el chico juega muy bien el primer tiempo. Y el primer pase que falla, ellos hacen un gol. Pero nosotros tenemos fe en todos los chicos, tenemos fe en el plantilla. Esto no es al nivel individual. No. Cuando se pierde, yo soy el primero que pierde. Nosotros perdemos juntos, siempre. Y cuando un chico pierde la pelota, es porque yo perdí la pelota. Yo soy el jefe, el dueño de todos los errores acá. Y nosotros la única manera de remontar es volver al entrenamiento, en el clase, con el video, en el gimnasio, y ir trabajando. Yo tengo fe ciega en este grupo, que vamos a ganar más partidos que vamos a perder. Y también que esta mala racha de suerte también va a ir cambiando un poquito.
Última en español acá.
Entrenador Giovanni Guerrero para Síntesis Deportes. Se mencionaba durante el buen comienzo que tuvo el equipo de San Diego que la temporada es muy larga. En ese sentido, anímicamente, ¿cómo tratar de ayudar al grupo, sobre todo para que este tipo de resultados que son negativos tampoco generen, en este caso, desconfianza para ellos, sobre todo para tratar de encarar mejor los próximos partidos, en este caso Dallas, que será el próximo rival?
La manera es, apretar donde tenemos que apretar, porque tenemos que apretar. Nosotros jugamos para los fanáticos y la hinchada que dan todo para nosotros. Entonces nosotros tenemos que apretar cuando no se gana, porque significa, y cómo no se gana, cómo se pierde es un poquito difícil, porque si jugamos el segundo tiempo como el primer tiempo y tenemos que comer ese penal y perdemos 1-2 y no podemos haber hecho el 2-2, yo acá digo, los chicos jugaron extraordinario. Entonces tenemos que apretar donde hay que apretar, pero también no hay que perder la vista larga de que tenemos una buena plantilla, que llevan 15 semanas juntos, que han demostrado un nivel bien alto juntos, una colectividad que para mí todos los otros rivales nos han dicho, ustedes juegan muy muy bien. Pero el jugar bien y ganar el partido es una de las cosas más difíciles en el mundo del fútbol. Estamos buscando eso. Entonces nosotros vamos a mantener la tranquilidad, la calma y a la misma vez poder apretar. Y yo aprieto conmigo mismo primero y principal, porque yo soy el encargado acá y yo soy el dueño de estas cosas y yo tengo que mirar al espejo siempre.
Thanks for your time, Mikey.
Gracias.
You can start up here, if you have questions, yeah.
Andres Alejandro with San Diego Football. Obviously, the last 3 matches haven't gone your way. What are some of the things that maybe the club is looking to fix, especially on the attacking front, with only 3 goals the last 3 games?
I think it's never nice to lose 3 games in a row, but that's something we have to deal with at the moment. We have to work even harder on the pitch, and I think that's the most important, that we on the training pitch we work harder. I think if you look at the game today, of course, first half I think it was pretty good. Came back after 1-0, and then of course we didn't start the second half how we wanted, and Salt Lake took advantage of that and scored the 1-2 and the 1-3, which killed the game. But we still have to keep improving. Of course, we want to make more goals, and we don't want to let many goals go in.
You know, you're still the top scorer for the team with 3 goals early in the season. Is there any pressure coming from you, or thinking to yourself that I need to impact the game a little bit more?
I think as an offensive player, you always want to help the team with goals and assists and stuff like that. But the way we play, it's important for me that the most important thing is that we win, and I really don't care who scores. So it bothered me a lot that we the last 3 games now haven't got any points, because that's not good enough. And when I look at the trainings we are having every day, I think we have a very, very good team. So it's a little bit frustrating, of course, not to get points when we know we are good enough for it.
And there's, I don't know if it was my impression, but do you feel comfortable today? Because sometimes, I don't know, when you play with the, in this, I don't know, in...
Pocket?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, because sometimes in the second time, I saw something different in your attitude. I don't know do you feel comfortable, because Mikey sometimes interchanges some positions. I don't know if you feel comfortable today.
I think always, of course, the game changed when you're behind. You want to try something, and maybe sometimes that's the wrong solution. That not stay in the pocket, because that's where I'm the most dangerous, and that's what we're training on every day in the weeks. No, I didn't feel not comfortable. I think today was just, of course, when you're running around and it's 3-1, you want something to happen, and then you sometimes get out of position and try to do something else. But sometimes you just have to stick to the plan.
Thanks. So obviously frustrating, 3 straight losses, but do you guys take any sort of silver linings, knowing that you did have a bunch of chances today? It was just kind of the final touch that was lacking.
Yeah, I think we all agree in the dressing room that we have a good team, and we know it. Right now we are, result-wise, we are in a tough position, of course, with 3 losses. But I still think that the first half today we can take a lot from that, and then of course it's not okay with that second half today. Of course it was different in Charlotte, with of course a red card and stuff like that. But today should definitely have been like at least 1 point, maybe 3, but not when we play a second half like that.
Did they defend you guys better than in Salt Lake? It looked like your transitional game, they took away a lot of that.
Yeah, I think when they win 3-1, they did something better than the first time we played against them. But I still think especially first half, we break through them and had opportunities to get in behind them and stuff like that. Of course, they were good at killing the transition moments that there were a lot of in Salt Lake. But yeah, then it's up to the players and me on the pitch to find other solution and break through.
Any others, Burners? Thanks for your time, members.
Yeah.
Luca Molino, we can start here, yeah?
Luca Alejandro with San Diego Football. Obviously a tough result, but how do you feel like your game played today, especially coming back from injury and getting another start tonight?
Well, I'm happy to get back on the field. I've been itching, about the past couple of weeks, but it's a bitter loss. It's hard for me to reflect right now on my own performance because just of the immediate impact of the loss. It's a tough one, because we just lost our flow after the second goal, and all we can do now is work through these hard moments, these hard bits of luck. Yeah, we just have to keep pushing. As far as my own performance, I'll have to go back and look at film. I have kind of like a short memory with these things, but just ready to go back and work on Monday.
You want to follow up?
Yeah, when the news Diego Luna's red card was presented, did the team maybe approach the game a little different, especially on the back line, knowing that he is a difference maker for Real Salt Lake?
No, not necessarily. We always, go into a game with our own plan. We know that he brings a different level of, dynamics into the midfield, but we didn't prepare any differently.
Any others up here for Luca, back there?
Hi, Luca. So Coach talked about how momentum has kind of gone against you guys over these past 3 games. How do you balance knowing that you have to deal with the result of the loss, but also you guys haven't necessarily been playing at your absolute worst, even though you have 3 defeats?
Right. Going back to what I said before, it's really just us pushing through tough scenarios, bad bits of luck. It's football. Not everything's going to go your way sometimes. Sometimes there are things out of your control that you can't immediately change. The only thing we can change is our effort, our reaction to these scenarios, and we just control what we can control. We keep pushing and training, and we get ourselves to a point where these uncontrollable circumstances don't affect us as much. That's all we can do.
Luca, if I may, your second start here at home, you get to, hopefully turn around next weekend at home again. What do you think of the atmosphere and the message for the fans that came out tonight?
Yeah, the fans are always brilliant. Trust me, we can feel every scream, every push from the crowd, and all it does is fuel us. Especially, the start of the game, we start strong and we get the fans behind us. It's great. It sets the momentum. Again, not much we can do when things are happening outside of our control, but trust me, we feel every ounce of dedication and commitment from the fans, and we do our best to replicate that on the field.
Any others for Luca? All right, Luca, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, guys.